Dave Ramsey's 7 Baby Steps to Success is a wonderful money tool. But do you want to know what he forgot to add to his list? Then watch this video till the end. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about Dave Ramsey's 7 Baby Steps to Success and what he forgot to add on that list. By the way, we love Dave Ramsey. This is my personal role model. This is a great guy. His team is great. We've watched gazillions of videos on his YouTube channel and other channels, other social media channels. We have listened to his shows over the years. So it is just a fantastic guy who knows a lot about money. So we're going to put right now on the screen Dave Ramsey's famous 7 baby steps to success. So you have baby step number 1. He says you have to save 1,000. Number 2, blah, blah. So this show, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go through all the 7 steps and I'm going to show you what he forgot to add on each step. There are a lot of things that you should do before even implementing Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to success. But once you do those 7 steps, once you implement them, you are sure on your way to financial success and even life success in general. I first want to talk about financial success. When we talk about financial success, before we even mention the 7 baby steps, you need to have one thing and only one thing. You need to have a personal foundation, and that was not in the list that the great Dave Ramsey published. And you need to have that. You need to solidify your personal foundation. You need to get some financial education. I'm talking here about free e-courses, community colleges, night classes, or Saturday morning. It's important, folks. The problem here is that everybody's thinking financial education means that I'm taking classes in finance. No, I'm not asking you to get a PhD in quantitative finance or get a doctorate degree in some kind of advanced financial models. No, I'm talking to you about getting some kind of knowledge about budgeting, about personal finance, about spending 101. What's the difference between cash and a credit card? How to use credit card, how to manage debt. This kind of basic everyday practical information that can help you move your life and your family's life ahead. That's important. So before we even talk about Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to success, we believe he forgot to add that you need to have the personal foundation. Get the education, acquire some skills. You got to look around and acquire skills. And the great thing here is that you also have to update those skills. Don't just get them and forget about them. No, things don't work that way. This life that we're in, folks, this life we're in, things keep changing all the time. So you have to adapt. This is a game that's not played only in one quarter. You have to play this game all the time. So acquire the skills or revamp and polish the kind of skills you currently have. Another thing you have to do is you want to surround yourself with like-minded people. You need to have what I call check pals. So if you want to reach a certain goal, financially speaking, you need to have folks who embrace the same idea and can help you reach your goal. They will serve as check pals. In other words, if you are deviating from the main road that you have built for yourself, those people can say, listen, Jane or Abigail or John or Robert, I think you just missing the point here. You need to get back on track. So you need to have that kind of a feedback loop. And also you need to set goals. Set goals, folks. Before you even think about reaching and implementing Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to success, you got to have goals. Goals are important. And your goals need to be SMART. Remember, SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely or time-bound. Learn about budgeting baby steps. You need to understand the difference between income and expenses. What is income? What qualifies as income? Income is not just what you get in your paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. Income can also encompass, guess what? Alimony, pension, retirement benefits, social security, child support. All these elements constitute income. And expenses also. Expenses can be everything from rent to groceries to insurance and so on and so forth. And you need to have 4 friends, folks. Folks, I want you to listen right now. Right now, I want you to listen. If you're doing something else while listening to me, I want you to really pay attention. You need to have 4 friends, and this is what I call team. You need to have a tax accountant. You need to have an estate planner. You need to know someone who is an attorney, who is a lawyer. You need to have a money counselor, a financial advisor. We've talked about the estate planning in several videos, so you might want to double check our video on estate planning to have an idea. Basically, estate planning means that you are taking care of your legacy. If something happens to you, God forbid you pass away or you become incapacitated physically and emotionally, then somebody has to take care of your business. Not the business in terms of your affairs, your personal affairs. So estate planning takes care of that. So if you have those 4 friends, and those 4 friends, if you have those friends, then you don't have to pay them. Think about that. This is very smart. So if stuff happens every year, you don't have to pay someone to do your taxes. Your tax accountant will take care of that. And if you want to write a will, or you want to know how to take care of how to handle everything from life insurance to, I would say, trust and will making, then you have an estate planner to take care of that. If you have an attorney, a lawyer who can advise you on everything from liability, general liability to other things, that's pretty good too. So when time comes, that friend wouldn't charge you that much. And you need to have a financial advisor, what I call money counselor. You need to have team, the acronym TEAM, right? You need to set goals, and you want to review your financial condition, your financial situation, your financial stability, your financial status every single year. And you can adjust things based on your life circumstances and always rinse and repeat. It can be it doesn't have to be that review I'm talking about. It does not have to be every year. It can be every quarter, every 6 months. It really depends upon your personal situation and the situation of your family, folks. So let's go through the list that our beloved, the wonderful Dave Ramsey has put in his 7 baby steps to success list. Number 1, baby step number 1. He says, save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. Guess what? I believe it does not have to be $1,000. You don't have to start with $1,000. It could be $100. It could be $500. You want to have movement, folks. Movement. It's not about the amount. It's about the quality of the amount. It's not about quantity. It's about the quality of the quantity. So you want to be moving, meaning you want, even if you're saving $30, $50, $100 every month, guess what? It adds up. You need to start somewhere. Now you are walking, you're listening to me, you are walking, but guess what? When you started, you were crawling, and then you started really your first step as a baby, as a toddler, you fell and then came back at it. So it's a matter of practice. So it doesn't have to be $1,000. It could be $100 or $500. So what you want to do right now is, and I want you to listen carefully here, I want you, after listening to this show, you want to go to your banker right now and say, I want to put my money in an account where I can earn some interest. I heard there are several accounts like this at your bank. What do you recommend? It doesn't matter whether the money is in a savings account or short-term cash account. Make sure the money is in something called high yield savings account. Yield is the return on investment. Yield is the percentage you're getting. So high yield means that it's a high interest. This is why sometimes people think about when you hear the words APR versus APY, they're kind of similar. So annual percentage rate versus annual percentage yield. So what the rate you're paying to the credit card company is the yield that the credit card company is getting. So for you, it's rate, for them, it's yield. All right. So don't get it twisted. It's a very simple concept. But what I'm trying to say here is that get a high yield savings account, or you can even get something called CD. So certificate of deposit. If you're a little sophisticated on the investment side, you can get something called short-term bond fund. Those are very short-term, meaning 3 months, 6 months, very short-term. Or you can even buy U.S. Treasury bills or UST bills. UST bills, they are sold in terms ranging from a few days to 52 weeks. And you can buy them electronically. It's very easy. Just talk to your banker. You can get that. And the UST bills are sold in $100 multiples. So that's a great way to start investing and put your cash to work for you. But it doesn't have to be $1,000. Step number 2, baby step number 2. The great Dave Ramsey said, pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. Now, we agree 100% with Dave Ramsey here. I think not 100%. We kind of agree with him 95%. And here is why. You might need extra cash to pay all of the debts. What if you don't have it? Especially if he says you have to use the debt snowball or other paradigm, you got to have the money. So where to get the cash? If you're already working, if your budget is already tight, if cash is tight every month, you're having a hard time making ends meet, where are you going to find the cash to pay all of the debt? So I'm giving you here another baby steps within the baby steps that Dave Ramsey has published. And the baby steps here, and my mini baby steps here is, I don't know if you can go as mini as baby, but you get the point. The point here is that you need to have a preliminary strategy before you can actually implement Dave Ramsey's baby step number 2. So how do you do it? You need to improve your skills. To generate the cash, to find the extra cash, you gotta improve your skills. You have to hone your skills. You can do it online. You can do it at the local library. There are even free courses at the local community college. They have evening courses, classes on Saturday morning. You got to look at opportunities where you are able to get free education. If you have the cash for it, I would strongly advise you. I strongly recommend that you pay for courses. There's nothing wrong with paying for courses. You know why? Because you are investing in yourself. You are increasing your cognitive skills. You are getting there. You are actually making moves, not only on the intellectual side, but also on the financial side. That's pretty important. Once you have the proper skills, trying to get a side gig, trying to have a side hustle going in your favor, so you can actually bring in the extra cash. And if that cash is coming consistently, it's not about the amount. It's about the consistency, because it all adds up. 1 + 1 = 2. But if you keep counting for 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, you're not getting 1 or 2. You're getting 100 and 100. You're getting 100, 1,000, whatever. Try it at home. 1 + 1, 2. 2 + 1, 3. 3 + 1, 4. 4 + 1. You keep counting. It all adds up. So it's all about consistency. Get a side gig. You want to tie your passion with something that produces income. Most importantly, passive income. Income that keeps rolling in, the ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching keeps rolling in, even when you are sleeping. That's what you want. You want to have passive income so that money is working for you, not the other way around. You want to set goals. Goals are important. Smart goals are kind of key. And one thing that you have to do that will help you pay off all that is to celebrate milestones. I love that. You need to celebrate milestones. You need to reward yourself for being a hard-hitting individual, for pushing hard to reach your goals. And once you do this, something extraordinary will happen. You will get more confident over and over and over, and you can actually tackle bigger challenges, which we'll talk about in the step 3, the baby step number 3. Baby step number 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. That's what the great Dave Ramsey said. Now here, I just totally disagree. I believe that 3 to 6 months is too little. Honestly, folks, you got to go for 9 to 12 months. I said it. I have to be conservative here because stuff happens in life. You assume you'll have, and I believe it's a mistake that a lot of experts make when they said you have to have 3 to 6 months emergency fund. And I assume this my position here because those experts are assuming that you'll have one emergency. One. Sometimes you may have multiple emergencies. So you have to change the name of that emergency account to an emergencies fund, not an emergency fund. So when you start thinking like that, then you switch your paradigm, you switch your intellectual paradigm, you switch your intellectual approach. Why? Imagine for a second that, God forbid, you got sick. And while you got sick, your employer is not happy with the fact that you're out of work, and they just decided to fire you. Now you got two problems that you have to deal with. Not only you have a disease, a medical condition that you have to cope with. You're in the hospital and you have no job. And you know that the unemployment checks are coming. They will stop at some point. Don't even get me started with the children. If you have kids and those kids have to eat, how are you going to put food on the table if you are sick in the hospital? The little money you are putting that towards to medical bills, paying medication, a very expensive one. God forbid if you have a nasty disease, a nasty condition, then all your cash is going into that trying to help you cure that condition. So you have sickness, job loss, children. That's three. That's not one emergency. We're talking here about three emergencies, and I can go on and on and on. My point here is that 3 to 6 months is too little. So you want to go for 9 to 12 months. All right. And the way I like to do this is that you want to have a short-term emergency fund, which will be equal to 6 months of living expenses, monthly living expenses. And you want to have a long-term emergency fund, and that will be 12 months of living expenses. So in total, you have 18 months. If you have that, you are double protected. You are just relaxing. You can chill. You can relax. Nothing will happen to you because you're covered both in the short term and the long run. So the 6 months, the short term emergency fund, that's what you kind of tap into that for everything from travel, or if you have a little problem with your car, the car broke down, you want to pay the garage, you want to pay the mechanic. That's what you use the short term emergency fund for. But the long term emergency fund is for things like a medical emergency. You got to help a family member. You have to do something that was not planned, right? So the way you do this is that you pay yourself every month first before anything else. So you want to start little. It could be 1% for the short-term emergency fund and 2% for the long-term emergency fund, or 2% for the short-term emergency fund and 4% for the long-term. So always you want to double the amount for the long-term. Make sure that your short-term and long-term funds are in CDs, money market accounts, and UST bills. The reason being that you want your money to keep working for you. Even if it's a small amount, you want it to work for you. That's very important. I will be right back. Right after this, don't go anywhere. So welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are also having a conversation here around Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to success. And we believe, we just love Dave Ramsey. We love his shows. We love his team. We love everything he has done. This guy has transformed the lives of millions of individuals, and he's just great. He's great, very smart. We are a fan of his on YouTube and other social media. But we believe that today, the 7 baby steps to success that he has published some time ago, he forgot to add a few important things. So we are going step by step through each step, and we're adding what we believe should be added to complete the advice, the piece of advice. So step number 4, he said, invest 15% of your household income in retirement. And that's correct. We agree 100%. So if you get a windfall, a bonus, etc., you want to put it right away in tax sheltered retirement accounts such as IRAs and 401ks. That's fantastic. Yes. Now, let's first explain what a windfall is. It's very important. If you get a windfall is a large and at many times unexpected financial gain. So sometimes it could be the result of an inheritance. It could be a lawsuit settlement, property sale, salary bonus, or even a winning lottery ticket. So from an unexpected $1,000 to amounts in the millions, windfalls are more common than you think. Globally, 69% of retirees plan to leave an average inheritance of $150,000 to their children. In the U.S., the average amount is even higher, $177,000. So many people even give money to their children before they die. So about 35% of working age Americans, according to research, have already received an average of 24 grand from a family member. So what I'm trying to say here is that if you get a windfall, first of all, you have to try to invest 15% of your household income. Ordinary income has to go to retirement. That's just like this. That's just, it has to be automatic. It has to be a reflex. Don't even think about it. It must happen. It must happen. All right. So once you have that, you're set. But if the Lord has blessed you with a windfall, you just want to put that cash right into retirement. I'm not even talking here about short-term emergency fund or a long-term emergency fund. No, we're talking straight into the super emergency fund. That's the retirement, the mega retirement fund, the mega emergency fund, the whatever you can come up. It has to go straight, because that's the money that's going to take care of you in your old days, in your golden days. So when you receive a large amount of money, please, there are a few things you have to do though. Of course, the money goes into a retirement account, but there are other things you can also do if you have what I call some previous issues that you need to fix, because not everybody getting 100 grand can just afford to put the cash right away into a retirement account. So what do you do if you receive a large amount of money and you want to imagine whether you want to think whether or not you should put it into a retirement account or not? First, you want to put your windfall funds aside temporarily. So you want to put the money into a relatively safe short-term account. This could be a savings account, money market account, or CD. You need to figure out what you will need to pay in taxes. For example, if you win the lottery, sometimes they will take the taxes before even giving you the cash. That's even better. But if they don't, you need to figure out how to pay the IRS and your state tax authorities. Eliminate any consumer debt that you have. So you want to pay off any costly, high interest consumer debt like credit card debt or student loan debt. So paying interest on debt is money you are essentially giving away with no benefit to you. I understand that. However, it's important. It will help you build your financial foundation better, because a high amount of credit card debt can have a negative impact on your credit score, for example. However, there are certain kinds of debt that may not be beneficial to pay off in full, as they can carry a tax benefit, right? So interest on mortgages, for example, and some student loans can be deducted from your taxes. And if you're paying a low interest rate on these loans, as are many people who've recently refinanced, you may get a better return by keeping this debt and investing your windfall elsewhere. You also want to make sure you have an emergency fund equivalent to 12 months of expenses. I already talked about that. I'm not coming back to it again. Talk to a financial professional. So a money counselor. I was telling you earlier about having friends. Remember, you need to have a tax accountant. You need to have an estate planner. You need to have a lawyer, an attorney. Then you need to have a money friend. A money friend here is a financial professional. So this kind of person can provide a comprehensive review of your finances, help you modify your financial priorities as needed, and craft a strategy for how to invest a windfall that will help you meet your life goals. Whether that means paying for your children's college or retiring early, or both. A financial consultant can also help you avoid the pitfalls when transferring inherited assets into your name, as some types of assets, such as inherited retirement accounts, have different rules than other types of inherited money. A money counselor, a money friend, can also help you ensure that you've got the right insurance coverage, from life insurance to umbrella policies. We've covered also the topic of umbrella policies in other shows. And by doing that, you are actually making sure that you and your loved ones are properly protected from unforeseen, unexpected events, the events down the road. Very important. You want to also revisit your portfolio's asset allocation. You want to decrease your tax liability through charitable giving. That's the one thing you can do also. Make sure you'll have enough money for retirement. Again, that I said that you want to take a portion of the remaining proceeds to fund life or career goals. Get some education, travel if you want to. It's very important. Treat yourself with some of the money that's left over. Okay, so I just kind of gave you a quick checklist of things you need to do when, if you're lucky enough and blessed enough to receive a windfall, to have a large amount of money coming your way. Let's talk about baby step number 5, according to the great Dave Ramsey. He says, save for your children's college fund. That is correct. We agree with him. You should do that. Very important. But one thing that's very important to us also, and David did not mention that, and we believe he should have, is insurance. He did not mention insurance. Insurance is key, folks. I'm talking here about getting the right, because insurance is not just this is not just premiums you send to the insurance company every month. No, those premiums are just the premiums you send into the insurance company. Guess what? This is part of the transactional aspect of the relationship. But what's really important when it comes to insurance is that it is a risk mitigation tool. Insurance allows you to protect yourself should one event happen. You don't want one event. Folks, one event should not wipe out years of preparation, years of hard work, years of dedication, and years of commitment. No. This is what insurance is for. Insurance is to protect you against events that don't happen every day, but if they were to happen once, you will be screwed big time. So you want to get life insurance. You want to get other types of insurance. As a matter of fact, one thing you have to do is that you have to understand that life insurance and other types of insurance are sort of like surrounding you. They are surrounding you in terms of all the elements, all the adverse elements that might happen to you. For example, you get sued, or somebody falls on your porch, or that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, we're showing you right now on the screen, Dave Ramsey himself said in another article that you need to get insurance. And we're showing you right now on the screen in an article called 8 Types of Insurance You Cannot Go Without. He basically is confirming what we just said, that you need to have insurance. And what are the 8 elements? And we agree with Dave Ramsey on this one too. We completely agree with him. So here are the 8 types of insurance policy you gotta have so that you are covered, so that you're set. So you need auto insurance, homeowners or renters insurance, umbrella policy, health insurance, long-term disability insurance, term life insurance, long-term care insurance, identity theft protection. Now, you might be thinking this is a lot of insurance. I don't have the cash for this. I'm just not even going to think about it. Not so fast. Not so fast. What you can do is go to one insurance company, the one that you currently have, and discuss your financial situation with them. And tell them you are interested in having some policies, because there's something called bundling. When you bundle insurance policies with one insurer, you are getting a significant discount. And the discount depends on the company, but it can be very significant, because if you're buying everything from one insurance company or two, that's a lot better than trying to buy like 8 different insurance policies to get coverage at 8 different insurers. So trying to centralize everything and bundle them. So the bundle coverage is great. Plus, you even have only one insurance bill to write every month. You don't have to pay like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 bills. You only paying one bill. So that's wonderful when it comes to insurance to bundle coverage. We are continuing here and having a conversation around. By the way, folks, if you love the quality and the clarity of today's show, please subscribe to our channel, because we release this kind of wonderful shows every single day, rain or shine. And please turn on the notification bell so you are informed in real time when we release the show. And also like this content, share, or comment below. If you have questions about Dave Ramsey's The 7 Baby Steps to Success, or other questions about financial management and personal finance in general, right there, you can comment below, share your experience, or ask a question. Our team reads all comments, and as long as the question is relevant to the topic discussed, we will answer. Baby step number 6, according to the great Dave Ramsey: pay off your home early. That's correct. We agree. We agree that you have to, if you get a chance, it's great to pay off your home early. Now, I'm not saying early means 5 years or 10 years. No, 20 years is kind of cool, or 15 years is kind of cool. You might be saying, well, this sort of you're going to lose the tax interest in terms of interest on mortgages. No, you can actually, once you sell, you might lose that deduction, but you can actually make more money if you don't pay taxes on the appreciated, on the capital gain you get on the house of sale. The IRS will exempt you if you will exempt you up to $250,000, up to $250,000 is exempt from taxes. So if you make if you bought a property, let's say for $500,000, and you sell it for $650,000, you're not paying taxes on those as long as you stay in the house for a relative number of years. That number changes every year. It has ranged from 5 years to 15 years or 20 years. So my point here is that, yes, I agree with Dave Ramsey. You should pay off your home early if possible. And there are 2 ways to do this. Actually, 2 out of many ways, but we actually have thought about 2 ways that we believe are better or easier. First, you can refinance. You can refinance to take advantage of lower interest rate, or you can pay. You can try to go the baby step, the real baby step, which is what you pay a little more every month on top of your actual mortgage payment. So if your mortgage payment is say is $1,000 every month, you send 1%. So you send $110 to the bank every month. If you have the possibility to increase it, do more. That way you are slowly eating away at the mortgage, at the debt, without even realizing it. Because if you think about it, writing a $1,000 check versus a $1,010 checks, $1,010 check, there's not such a huge difference. So you wouldn't feel it. But guess what? Your mortgage debt will feel it. And when should you do this? You want to refinance when interest rates are at record lows, when rates, for example, on fixed rate mortgages are nearly equal to ARMs. So ARMs is adjusted rate mortgages. And you also want to make sure that you are doing things at the right time. Very important. And baby step number 7, Dave Ramsey said, build wealth and give. I totally agree. We could not agree more. This is just fantastic. This is a great piece of advice. Yes, you build wealth and you give. You have to donate. But don't forget estate planning. I've talked about estate planning earlier. You have to be very careful about estate planning, because the last thing you want is that, something happens to you, God forbid, and that you can't talk or you can't move. You are incapacitated, and people are making decisions on your behalf about things that you don't want them to make decisions on, or things that are, or make decisions that are contrary to your desires and wishes. So also you want to make sure that, God forbid, were you to pass away, you have things are done the way you want it. Because if you don't take care of estate planning, there is something called probate, and probate is the process whereby the state will take over and do things according to state laws and guidelines. And those laws and guidelines, even though they might be fair, may not be in your favor. Thank you so much for today's conversation. I really appreciate it. We want to thank Dave Ramsey and all his team for the great and brilliant work they have done in the last few years. And this conversation was inspired by Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to success. And we believe that there were certain things that were left out in the original memo when it came out, and we just felt like it made sense for us to add our 2 cents to this conversation to enrich the conversation. I hope that you enjoyed it, that it added value to your life, and I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.